The real reason I can run my business from more or less anywhere is not some clever laptop trick, and it is not a secret app that does the work for me. It is a small trusted remote team that keeps things moving whether I am sitting at my desk or stuck on a plane with no signal. That is the whole thing. A lot of people picture location freedom as one person alone with a laptop in a nice cafe, and honestly that picture is mostly a lie. A business that depends entirely on one person being online is not free at all. It is just a job that you carry everywhere you go, and the view out the window does not change that. The destination is different, but the leash is exactly the same length. What actually let me step back was not working faster or grinding harder. It was slowly building a handful of people I trust to keep the important things running when I am not there. So in the next few minutes, I want to walk you through how that really works, the roles that make it possible, the boring backbone that holds the whole thing up, and the honest cost, because the real version is far more useful than the fantasy you usually get sold. First, let me kill the fantasy. Before anything else, let me kill the fantasy, because it gets in the way of the real point. This is not make money while you sleep on a beach. It never was. There is no version of this where the work does itself and the money simply appears in the morning. What I have is a real business with real people in it, doing real work every single day. The freedom does not come from magic, and it does not come from some tool I can sell you. It comes from two fairly boring things: systems and trust. Systems, so the work happens the same way whether I am watching it or not. And trust, so the people doing it can act without waiting on me. I can be offline for a day, or in a different time zone, or stuck on a long flight, and the business does not stop, because it was never resting on me being awake and available every hour. That is the honest mechanism underneath all of it. It is not exciting, and it does not fit on a thumbnail, but it is the actual thing that works. The fantasy sells because it is easy to picture. The real thing is quieter, and it asks a lot more of you. Once you stop chasing the fantasy, you can finally start building the part that is real. Why a dedicated team, not gigs? So here is the first real choice, and it matters more than any other. Why a dedicated team and not a pile of one-off gigs? For a long time, I tried to do this with freelancers. I would hire someone for a small task, they would finish it, and then they would be gone, and the next time I needed something, I would start all over again with a stranger. It felt cheap and flexible, but it never actually bought me any freedom. The reason is simple. A freelancer doing a one-off job does not know your business. They cannot make a call on your behalf because they have no idea what you would want. So every single thing still has to come back through you. What actually buys location freedom is the exact opposite of that. It is a few people who learn your business slowly, over months, until they understand how you think and why you do things the way you do. Once someone knows the reasons behind the task, they can handle the thing in front of them without asking you first. That is the whole difference right there. A pile of freelancers keeps you stuck in the middle of everything, forever the bottleneck. A small trusted team is the thing that finally lets you step out of the middle and stay out. The roles that unlock freedom. So which roles actually do this? You do not need a big team, and that genuinely surprises people. For a lean business, a small handful of positions covers almost everything that would otherwise stall the moment you step away. The first is an assistant for the day-to-day admin and the inbox. This is the person who keeps the small things moving, sorts what matters from what does not, and makes sure nothing important sits unanswered while you are gone. The second is someone for research and content support. The steady work of putting things together, gathering what you need, keeping the pipeline full so the output does not stop just because you got on a plane. And the third is someone on customer replies. The person who makes sure the people who pay you feel looked after quickly and in your voice, even when you are 12 hours out of sync with them. A warm reply that lands within the hour while you are fast asleep on the other side of the world is quietly one of the biggest wins in the whole setup. That is really it. 3 roles, sometimes fewer, sometimes one person wearing 2 hats in the early days. It is not about building an empire or padding out an org chart. It is about covering the handful of jobs that, left undone for even a single day, would quietly start to break things. Cover those few roles well, and the business keeps breathing while you are away. The system that makes it work. Now here is the part nobody really wants to hear, because it is the least glamorous, and it is also the whole thing. The system that makes it work is just documented procedures and clear owners. That is genuinely most of it. For every task that matters, there is a written procedure, a simple guide that says how it gets done, step by step. So it does not live only in my head, and it does not depend on me being reachable to answer a question. Every task also has one clear owner. One person who is responsible for it, so nothing falls into the gap between two people who both quietly assume the other one has it. On top of that, there is a simple daily rhythm. A short check-in, a shared sense of what today looks like, so everyone knows the plan without needing a meeting about it. Meetings are where time goes to die, and a shared board plus a short daily note removes most of the reasons to ever hold one. And there is one place and only one where all the work is tracked. One board, one list that anyone can open to see what is done, what is in progress, and what is stuck and needs a hand. None of this is fancy or clever. It is the boring backbone that makes my absence safe. When the procedures are written and the owners are clear, me stepping away stops being a risk, because the machine does not actually need me hovering over it to keep running. Trust and real autonomy. But a system on its own is not enough, and this is where a lot of people quietly get it wrong. You have to hand over trust and real autonomy, not just tasks. The mistake is to delegate the doing but keep every single decision for yourself. If your team can act but cannot decide anything, then the moment something unexpected happens, everything stops and waits for you. And across time zones, waiting for you can mean losing a whole day on something small and obvious. So the real work is delegating decisions, not just steps. That means telling people not only what to do, but what you are actually trying to achieve so they can make a sensible call when the script runs out and there is no rule that fits. It means letting them get some things a little wrong and treating that as the ordinary price of them being able to move at all. It is genuinely hard to do. Handing someone real ownership of a piece of your business feels a lot like letting go of the wheel. But a person who is trusted to decide will keep things moving while you sleep. A person who can only follow orders will freeze the second you become unreachable. So I try to teach the reasons behind a decision, not just the steps, because reasons travel across a time zone and a rigid rule does not. Autonomy is not a nice extra here. It is the actual thing that makes being anywhere possible. The honest trade-offs. Now let me be straight about the trade-offs because this is not free, and anyone who tells you it is has something to sell you. The first cost is money, paid up front, before any of the freedom actually shows up. You are paying people fairly every month, whether or not you personally are having a good month. The second cost is time, which tends to surprise people the most. Building a team does not remove the work, it changes the shape of the work. Instead of doing the tasks yourself, you are now writing the guides, answering the questions, giving the feedback, and keeping people unblocked. That is real management time, and it never fully disappears. You trade the hands-on work for a quieter, steadier kind of work, and some honest days you will genuinely miss just doing the task yourself. And the biggest one, the one that is far too easy to skip past, is that you are now responsible for other people's livelihoods. Real people are building their lives around the work you give them, and that is a weight you carry, not just a line in a spreadsheet. On top of all of that, it takes genuine discipline to actually let go. The instinct is to keep checking, to keep pulling things back to yourself, and if you cannot break that habit, you end up paying all of the cost and getting none of the freedom. It is worth it, for me, clearly. But it is a real trade, not a hack. What it gives you back. So what does all of that actually give you back? The first thing is time. The obvious one, but not quite in the way people usually imagine it. It is not endless free days doing nothing. It is that the hours you do work go to the things that only you can do, instead of getting buried under a pile of small tasks that anyone on the team could handle. The second thing is mental space, and honestly this one matters even more to me. When you know the important things are genuinely covered, you stop carrying the entire business around in your head at every waking moment. You can actually be where you are, instead of half present and half worrying about an inbox you cannot see. That quiet in your own head is worth more to me than almost any single hour I get back on the clock. The third thing is resilience. If you get sick or you are traveling or you are simply unreachable for a day, the business does not lurch to a halt behind you. It keeps going because it was never balanced entirely on you in the first place. And the last thing, the deepest one, is that you end up owning a business that is not completely dependent on you being online every single hour. That is a fundamentally different thing to own than a job that just happens to have your name on it. It is calmer, it is sturdier, and it is the actual point of all the work underneath. Who this is really for. So who is this really for? Because it is genuinely not for everyone, and I would rather just say that plainly than pretend otherwise. This works when you have real, ongoing, definable work, tasks that happen again and again, that you can describe clearly enough to hand off to someone else. If that is where you are, then a small team will honestly change your life. But if you are still trying to figure out what the business even is, this is the wrong move and it will hurt you more than help. You cannot hand off a job that you cannot yet describe to yourself. Bringing people in to fix a mess you have not defined just creates a bigger, more expensive, more confusing mess, now with other people caught up inside it. So be honest with yourself about which stage you are actually at right now. If the work is real and repeating and you are genuinely drowning in it, then hire and hire carefully. If the work is still a fog in your own head, then that fog is your own job to clear first before you ever ask anyone else to step into it. There is no shame at all in not being ready yet. There is only pain in pretending that you already are. So that is the honest version. Of running a business from anywhere. It is not a laptop on a beach, and it never really was. It is a small team of real people, clear written systems, and just enough trust to actually let them work. That is the whole thing, start to finish. And the team I keep talking about, the real people who keep my business moving while I am somewhere else, I mostly found through a site called onlinejobs.ph. If you want to look into it yourself, the link is down in the description. And I will be straight with you, that is an affiliate link, so if you sign up through it, it supports this channel at no extra cost to you. You are never obligated to use it. If this kind of honest, hands-on breakdown is useful to you, then subscribe and follow along because there is a lot more of it on the way. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.